Hello, friends and family and people on the internet. I don't know why he is insisting on playing. He just got back from 4 hours of day camp. I don't understand. Get a high energy dog, they said. So this video is going to be about all the graduations. So I graduate, my sister graduates, and my brother graduates. All of the kiddos are graduating. And so first is my brother. So what that looks like is he came with me and we sat through the graduation ceremony. So that's what we'll go through first. Then for my sister, I'm going to a dinner for her. So Moose will be hanging out at a restaurant. And then for me, what he's going to be doing, it's going to be a full day of work. He's going to be going to graduation with me, sitting at the ceremony and walking across the stage. He's going to be going to the dinner with me, and then he's coming back, and I'm having a friend party. So it should be super fun and super cool. But so this video will be our graduation experience.
This moment.
Don't judge the hair. This is my so done with the semester hair. For those who don't know, I get really mentally and physically exhausted when I go. So ideally for me, my type of outing is only like, let's say 3 hours. Just because it really just takes a lot out of me. And I just get tired. My brain hurts, So I need to go take the laundry out. That's what that was. So my brother's celebrations started at 12 with a lunch, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world because it meant the world for me to be there, and there was a lot of family who I haven't seen in a long time, so I went. So Moose came with me, and so it was really exciting because everybody got to meet him, and a lot of them haven't met him for the first time when we got there. So then we came back and we cuddled, which was the last picture. So he was really picking up on I put up graduation decorations and he's noticing them. Let's see I don't know if he's gonna bark or not. What? So he came back and he cuddled. So even though he wasn't vested, he was still working because he did pick up on anxiety and exhaustion. So what are those? Anxiety and exhaustion. So he was working even though he wasn't vested. So then we rested for a couple of hours, which was awesome. So then we went to Chaffetz for the graduation. So Chaffetz is big, and there are a lot of people. So the longest Moose has ever worked was at school, and that was, you think you're so funny. And that was, let's say 3 hours, but he had a 30-minute break. So since we got home after the lunch, which let's just say it's 2, he worked from 2 till probably about, we got back at 9. So that's, my brain's not working, 7 hours. And so we'll just approximate 7 hours. So he has never worked that long. And there's something called burnout, and people get that too. Like, let's say they're really working hard in a job and they love that job, but they work too hard, they get burned out. So that's the same with dogs. So one of the videos that I showed you guys is showed him being just mentally exhausted. And I talked to my trainer about that. And so what we're going to do for my graduation is a command we're working on now, and it's a release command. So what we do, how we train for that, is we do train, train, train. Like, I'll ask him for focus, where he has to look at me, and a sit, and a down, and an over my lap, and then under my legs. And then I say release. And so then I throw something, whether it be a toy or like, toys. And so that allows him, he's finally falling asleep. And that makes him realize, oh, okay, so that command means I can turn off. And so when I'm at my graduation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Kongs. And so for those who don't know, Kongs are these things. And so what I have is I freeze ice cubes of coconut oil, and I just put it in here, and then they last a long time. They'll last long enough for him to kind of have a little break. My graduation ceremony won't be that long. It's only going to be a couple of hours, so I only need to bring one Kong. But then when we go to the restaurant, then he'll get another Kong there too. I'm hoping, we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. It's all play it by ear, but Moose is my first service dog, so it's a lot of this is trial and error, and I'll say I'm doing better than most, and he's doing better than most, but that's because I have the help of a trainer. So, but that's something I learned through my experience for my brother's graduation. So the next video will be of Moose at the restaurant. Your girl got a haircut. But that's besides the point. That's not why we're here. But we leave in a couple hours. Like 3. Here's Moosey. Come on, Moosey. Hello. Oh wait, we gotta show him. Hold on. We leave in a couple hours, like 3. And hello. And we are going to Colombia. For my sister's graduation dinner. Yeah. Oh, and I got my nails done, so I feel super cool. So we are going to Colombia in a couple of hours. We're gonna leave. Can you wait? We're gonna leave about an hour earlier than we normally would, so we can go to a park and walk around and stretch our legs, so that he can, when we're at the dinner, he can be laser focused. So, but I thought it would be cool to kind of show you what we're bringing. So the dinner's at 5, which is Moosey's dinner time. So I brought him a bowl. It's not going to be his big food bowl because it's just too big to bring, because I'm fitting everything in his backpack. So then I'm bringing his food. His nosy is so excited. And then a refill bag of treats, and then his treat bag and extra poop bags. So this is our longest trip that we've ever been, 2 hours. So in the car, we're bringing bones. I'm actually probably going to go buy him a new bone. He doesn't know that yet, but I think that's what I'm going to do. And then we'll bring his antlers, and he has a Kong filled with peanut butter and coconut oil. So, He should be set so that he's just not. He's fine in the car, but I don't like sitting in the car for 2 hours. And we're actually going to turn on some true crime podcast that my sister told me about. So it should be exciting. I'm excited to meet some of her friends, but it's going to be an experience, and I worry because I want him to be the dog that I know he can. But what I have to remember is he is a living thing, so he will make mistakes, and what I do with those mistakes is what matters. I need to not think about them as mistakes, but as a learning experience, because he's still in training, and that's what I need to remember. You see all these things. Here you go. You see all these things on Facebook or Instagram about how these dogs, behave flawlessly, no mistakes. They're 100% all the time, and he's just not there yet. And I think realistically he'll never be there because they're living things and they make mistakes. I want him as close to perfect as possible, but I also want to be realistic about it. But we did go to Aldi's yesterday, and he did phenomenal. His only flaw was he wasn't healing as close to me as I wanted him to be, but it was just so freaking hot. It was so hot yesterday. And it's so hot today, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as yesterday. It was like 92. It was just so fucking hot. Oh, curse word. Oops. Forgive the curse word. I was just showing you how extremely hot it was. Well, we'll be on our road trip soon. I gotta get gas and go get his bone, but it should be fun.
Maybe we'll actually get it this time. He's swimming.
So it took us about 2 hours, even with a stop. So that was super rad. So then I went to a dog park. And so the dog park has a pond. And I didn't know that. So for like 30 minutes, Moose is swimming in this pond. He's already wet. So, but I was like, water dog, get out of the water. It was absolutely ridiculous. So then I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So he's in the water swimming, and like he's having the time of his life. So me being a dog mom, I'm like, oh, it's fine, no worries. And then he's swimming in the pond, so I leave enough time to go like drive around, so he drives. But I washed him off with a hose, and he lost his freaking mind. He was not about being washed off with the hose. It's just so funny. Anything that has to do with bathing, he hates, but he loves water. So then we got to the restaurant, and he did awesome sauce. He literally just stayed there the whole time. He's really his job literally lasts for 5 minutes. So like my anxiety is super severe for 5 minutes, and then when I get settled in, I'm fine. So for the first 5 minutes, he's like, hey, you got you got anxiety, and he's just pawing. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And then it got so then I switched seats. It got bad again. It's just pain. So then for another 5 minutes, he's like, hey, hey. And he ended up doing deep pressure therapy, which calmed down, allowed me to calm down a little bit. Um, and then we left and we went back to the dog park for another hour. And then I was totally fine with him swimming. He was swimming like a madman. He is all about the water. So next up is my graduation. And I'm so nervous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Hello. So I'm a graduate. It was stressful. So how it worked is we got there and we had to get our cards with our number on it. And so I got my card, I was 18. So then, of course, I have a dog. Everyone knows I have a dog. So then this random lady from the disabilities office comes and says, okay, you're going to do something totally different than what you're mentally preparing for. And in my mind, I'm like, wow, I have severe anxiety all the time, and this is not helping. So I come out and she shows me what we're gonna do, and I'm like, great, like, you know what, this is a shit show. I'm gonna be freaking out, like I'm already freaking out, like anxiety's horrendous, like what's going on? So in the first video, like that's us lining up. So I'm behind the student line leader, and so then the lady that led me was the line lady, and so I followed the line lady to my spot. So it was a lot easier, but like my anxiety brain was like, you're gonna screw up, like you're gonna be the worst ever, like it's gonna be this big deal. And like the other thing that was going through my head is I had a backpack with water and Moose's Kong in it, and in my head I'm like, please don't fall backpack, like it's gonna be this big deal if this backpack falls, everybody's gonna laugh. And so that's what I'm thinking about at the time, is about this freaking backpack that no one is probably paying attention to, and everyone in reality is paying attention to this dog that weighs 65 pounds. And so then we sit down. Okay, we're all settled. So then I give Moose his release command, and you're making headway on this. His release command, and which we've been practicing because I talked about how I was really, really unfocused at the beginning, or at my brother's graduation. So he gets the release command, and and he is just chewing on his Kong, or he like licks the coconut oil out of his Kong. Which in reality was such a pain because I kept it on ice, so it would be harder to get stuff out of. And it was just a mess. If I did graduation over, it would just be way better. So then he gets to do that for 15 minutes, and then, you know, everybody's now sitting down, and I really didn't want him licking while the ceremony was going on. So he got to do it while everybody was sitting down. So then he's put in a place position, which means he laid in front of me. So when he was in his release command, he got to lay on the side. When he was in his place command, he laid in front of me. And so the doctors went first, then the masters, and then us. So I was in row 6, so we went 6th, and I was the first one. And that was the video of us walking across the stage, and it was crazy. So what blew my mind, and like, it's so crazy, is that he behaved like when we were waiting our turn and he sat, I didn't give him a command, like he just did it. And like, we have been working all week on the release command, walking up to people and making sure he leaves them alone, and sit and healing while he's licking frosting off the chair. And like, it just freaking, excuse me, French is hard, freaking blew my mind that he did it. You know, he was on it. I don't know what happened, but a switch went on and he was like, I gotta work. And like, he normally does really great, but it just blows my mind that he did it. And like, I watched that video and I teared up because I didn't even realize he like sat. And you know, your hard work doesn't go into vain. It isn't vain. You know, like, there's a reason you work so hard. There's a reason I put hours and hours and hours and hours to training this dog and working with Patty. You know, there's a reason I'm doing this, so that when my dog realizes my anxiety is so high I could cry, he says, okay, I cannot screw up. And he didn't sniff anyone. He walked right by me. He was well-mannered. He did phenomenal. And, you know, I talk about all, and like, you know, you see all these other service dogs, you know, they post about how they've been bonded from the beginning. And I was like, I didn't have that dog. I didn't have a dog that I bounded from the beginning. You know, I knew I loved that dog from the moment I picked him out at 4 weeks. But just because I love him doesn't mean we're a bonded pair. We're not a bonded pair yet. And it's taking work and time to get there. And I think we're finally getting to that point. Like, my labs are supposed to be cuddly. Moose did not start to cuddle with me probably till this month. He's getting it now. He's always been very trainable, but it's never really clicked. And seeing him work in this situation where there was loud music, you know, I have to count on his training. I do. Why you oofs? You oofing? Hey, enough. Thank you. Enough. Thank you. No. I have to count on his training. I do. Come here. Come here, Lucy. Come here. You gotta come over here. Come here. Come here. There he is. Come on. Come on. Get up here. Say hello. Oh, hello. Oh, hello, Mercy. Sweetie boy. He's picking up on my anxiety. We've been fucking talking about it. Oh, no. Oh, you dropped it. Nope. No scrunchie. Ow! But it's just exciting, you know, and it's an exciting win. It's an exciting thing that me as a first time dog handler, honestly, like this is my first dog, and as a first time handler, it's exciting to realize it's going to be okay. And realize that, yes, there are going to be mistakes. There's always going to be mistakes. It's a living thing. But the goal is to get as close to perfection as we can. And I have to remind myself that it's okay. Because in the thick of it, he's got it.